What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, a.k.a. Toe Tag and Tambo. We're back for the Wednesday winners. Got the crew with me. Got Title. Got Locks back. Back to the big game slate, boys. We got 12 games. Last time out, it was 8. Back in here. We got a good slate. I think a lot of news we've got already. Some that we're waiting on. As always, we'll cover it all for you guys. Do us a favor. On the way in, hit that like button. Get them up early. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. We're pushing ever so close to the 15,000. The goal that we set was for the end of the year, but we're pretty close. So get us there with that subscribe button. Lots of free shows going on. Did a PGA free show last night. PGA is in full force now. Premium show today with myself and Hoop over on the site. If you're not a member yet, go to runpuresports.com. Sign up now. Get yourself set up. All sports, one price. Title, bring you in first, man. What's going on with you this Wednesday? How you feel, man?
Yeah, great Wednesday over here. Huge slate, 12 games. A lot of the injury news we already got as well, which is pretty rare. We're not waiting on a 12-game slate. Usually you're waiting on like 10 pieces of news that's really important. The 3 main pieces of news: Joel Embiid questionable, Evan Mobley questionable, Devin Vassell questionable. Mobley and Embiid start right away at 7 Eastern, so we'll get that news. And then Vassell starts 30 minutes after. So we could have all the main news right away. Now, anything can pop up in the NBA. LeBron got ruled out. Drew Holiday's not playing. Already a bunch of big news that we already have. Magic have a couple guys that are serving their suspension. Already have some guys out. So Lakers and Magic, if you're going to ask me a couple teams who are the main, what stands out, where are you going? Magic and Lakers are what stands out, but doesn't feel like a spot where you just play for OKC Thunder like we saw yesterday when Shea got ruled out and stuff like that. Should be a fun slate.
Yeah, I was going to say, if SGA had got ruled out again, we would have had a real setup there with OKC and Orlando taking off all the injuries and just plug the whole game stack together. Locks, brother, how's it going this Wednesday? How you feeling, man? What's going on?
Yeah, going well, going well. A little cold up here in Wisconsin, but we're doing okay. Just ready to dive in. We got another big slate here finally, so always fun when we got all these games to pick and choose from. Definitely injury news is nice to have early. Sometimes it's actually nice to have late, so kind of upsetting that we get some of it early, but it's good for the show. So just excited to dive into another day, and let's pick some winners again.
Yeah, Title, you already talked a little bit about yours. So, Locks, I'm going to stay with you for a second, just going through sort of grand scheme overview. Title hit on a couple spots. We obviously got the LeBron news early. We'll get the other news hopefully on this show. If not, our Up to Lock show, we'll have it covered, but we'll circle back if anything comes up. If you guys see anything out there that pops up that we missed, throw it in the chat. We'll confirm it and then go through it. But Locks, how do you see this slate playing out? Where do you see yourself going here with these 12 games?
Yeah, it's tough to call too early, but I'm thinking there's a couple early games I like and there's a couple late games I like. So I'll probably be sprinkling in a mixture of kind of both sides of this slate, just looking at it right away. Obviously, the injury news is huge. I mean, a couple Orlando Magic guys open up some value there. So definitely some interest in that game. The Lakers, obviously, everyone's going to be going to that, I think. So, yeah, definitely some spots early and late. I just kind of got to pick and choose which direction I'm going to go and which way I'm going to lean.
Yeah, we'll get through it as we go through. As always, Title, start with you, man. Anything else you want to add? If not, we can kick right into things like we always do here. We'll set up the likes today for 350. I think last time we did 300. We're going out 50. I think we can get there. We got it done last time, no problem by the end of it. So hit the like button before we get into it. Title, start with Indy Philly. Like you said, waiting on the Embiid news. We can do some if-then. Your thoughts on if you think he'll play or not. What's your thoughts here on this one? 232 total in Philly.
Yeah, so we saw midday he got the questionable tag. I don't have a lean. I mean, we don't need to guess. We're going to get this news before lock anyway. If Embiid's in, I have interest in Joel Embiid at 11.2K. If people are spending up, I think it's going to be Giannis. Drew Holiday's out. Giannis on an absolute tear. Rightfully so, a great play. But you save a little bit of money with Embiid. It allows you to jam in other chalk if you're going that way. And man, 11-2 for Embiid with the ceiling he has against the Pacers team that I do like picking on. I think he'd be a very interesting spend up and a contrarian play. Now, if he is ruled and if he is in, that's the only interest I really have. You could go Harden at 9.8. I don't think I'd go there. I think I'd go Embiid. I'd rather go Embiid than Harden. Now, if Embiid's out, James Harden becomes one of the best plays on the slate, 9.8K. He would then become the chalk, I'd imagine. But man, like DeAnthony Melton at 5.9, he's priced accordingly. George Niang 3.8. Like, I don't think it's just you would load up on all these 76ers. I really think it'd just be Harden mainly if Embiid's out. Now, yes, if Niang starts, I would like him at 3.8K. If they started Montrez, yeah, I like him at 4.2K. But yeah, if he's in, just really Embiid. If he's out, it's mainly Harden that I'd be looking at. As far as the Pacers side, Miles Turner at 6'6", a good price tag. I played him a little bit. I mean, man, the upside, 37, 48, 48 the past 3 games, playing over 30 minutes. The usage has been there. Yeah, they're going to need a size against Embiid. Foul trouble is a concern, but I think this whole game is going to be low owned. So it's mainly the 2 centers I'm looking at. I'm not going to get to Tyrese at 9-1 today. Not going to get to Buddy or Benedict. This slate's so big. I like other spots more. So it's mainly the stud. Embiid, if he plays, I think it's a contrarian route. You don't need anyone on Philly if he does, though. If he's out, James Harden would be one of the top plays on the slate. And then Miles Turner is the only interest I have on the Pacers.
Yeah. Any thoughts real quick? Just if Embiid's in, him $700 to get to Giannis. Do you think there's enough value to somehow get to both? I don't know. I don't see it, but any thoughts on that? Just comparing the two for $700 in the difference?
I mean, I mainly look at we're talking GPPs and the ownership. I mean, I think he could be 7 times less owned. I mean, Embiid can come in 4% owned. Giannis can come in 34% owned or something like that. And you're saving the 700. You get a little different roster construction. Yes, of course, in a vacuum, Giannis is a better play, but I think going Embiid would make sense as the contrarian spend.
Now look at this new trick, new producer trick. I think it'll work. We'll see. It runs a little behind. I got to see, but Young God. Almost 150 already. Let's keep them likes coming. Now we got the chat doing the job for me. So this is incredible stuff, right? We can just check that out, hide it back, boom, keep the likes rolling in. That's going to be perfect. Locks, I'll come to you on this game, man. Same spot, Indy, Philly. Anything else you got to add there? Any other guys that you might like in this game?
Yeah, not much as I'm looking through here. To be dead honest, Embiid is a great play. Probably one of my favorite plays. I'm in lockstep with Title on that one. If he does play, I just see his ownership. I mean, if I can get him under 5%, I'm in on that all day. Yeah. Like he said, Giannis has been crushing 80 fantasy points the last 3 games at least. So, I mean, yeah, everyone's going to try to jam him in. I'm okay going to Embiid for his upside. Ultimately, I'm a little worried. I don't think he does play if they marked him down to questionable halfway through the day. So we'll see. But, yeah, it only opens up James Harden for me. No other interest in that. Other than Niang if he's 3.8K and starting. If he's not starting, then I'm off pretty much the rest of that team. Indiana side of things, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of interest on this slate. Really, none of these guys jump out at me. I'm probably Embiid and Harden if Embiid's in, and then just Harden if Embiid's out.
Yeah, and we can move off it based on that. Like Title said, put it pretty well. I think Title is that we're going to get it, so we'll figure it out. Obviously, Harden becomes a huge factor here if Embiid is ruled out, so we'll go from there. Let's move on, Title. Let's go Phoenix, Cleveland, another game, whatever. I mean, we look at every game here, but I'm sure we're not going to spend too much time on this. But give me your thoughts. There is some news, at least on the Cleveland side. Booker's still out, all that. But what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, the Phoenix side's easy. I'm not going to touch anyone on that side. So going to the Cleveland side, they still do have Darius Garland, who's doubtful. We saw last game he didn't play. And, man, Donovan Mitchell put up the absolute monster. I was a little frustrated. I absolutely love Donovan Mitchell on that slate. Was debating a couple lineups with him. Didn't get there. Absolutely nuked. I'm good going back to him. I'm still seeing his ownership at like 5% on a 12-game slate. Like if this was a 6-game slate with less options, I think more people would go Donovan Mitchell just knowing what happened last game. But there's so many options up top. I think he is pretty forgotten again. I'm good going right back to him without Garland. I mean, he just absolutely is chucking. And yeah, we just saw the upside there. He's a hot, cold guy. I like Donovan Mitchell at 9.6. Karis LeVert, 5.5K. He was the chalk of all chalk on the last slate. He did not come through. He still played 39 minutes, though. He just really wasn't efficient. He shot 2 for 13 from the field. And Donovan Mitchell did everything that game. So, yeah, I think Karis LeVert going back to him at 5.5K, getting upper 30s minutes without Garland there. I like him. And then, yeah, we're waiting on the Evan Mobley news. If he's in, I don't think I would touch Jared Allen. Wouldn't touch Kevin Love. I mean, Jared Allen would be fine at 6'8", but I don't think I'd get there on this slate. If he's ruled out, Kevin Love starts for him. I would like Kevin Love going right back to him. And then Jared Allen also gets a bump. A couple more minutes for him. Rebounding rate goes up as well. So Mobley's a big piece of news that we're waiting on. If he's in, it's really just LeVert and Donovan Mitchell for me. If he's out, throw Jared Allen and Kevin Love in that equation. But no Suns for me.
Guy Nades, got to get him up here. Great guy. Nades, he's doing my job for me again. People know what I'm about to say on this spot lock, so I'm going to come to you in a second, but we know he's not getting 110 again. That's the point. But that's all. He's 9,600. What if he grabs us 65? What if it balances out? I like what Title said there. This happened last week. Remember this happened? I think it was after our show, the night of this show with Giannis and with one of his value guys. I think it was Javon Carter. obviously Carter ain't going to get there when Giannis is taking. It was almost like Kobe's last game. I think he took 40 shots or something in that game. Like this guy was trying to go out on top. He was following up what Luka did the night before. Remember, we were having those conversations on the show. He tried to go out and show up Luka. It did not go well. Sorry for you boys. He lost the game for his team, the turnover at the end, all the bad stuff. But it's Giannis. He's incredible. We love the guy. Just saying that's what happened. But the same point would be, I'll pull it off here now. Nate said it, but we talk about this all the time. What if it balances out a little bit more? What if Mitchell gets 65 or 70 tonight just because he's chucking 15 threes? What if he drops down to 10 and still makes 5 of them and then adds some more peripherals and things like that in? Maybe a guy like LeVert can pick it up, and that's where the difference goes off. So I don't know. I think people have a tendency, Locks, to just automatically go away from this and say, I ain't chasing that. Forget it. Now, tonight with the setup with the guy out there with Garland, I don't know what ownership. Doesn't look like much on him, though. So your thoughts, Locks, on Mitchell and then the rest of the guys in this game.
Yeah, I love Mitchell as well tonight. And I try not to think about that. Oh, he's not going to get 110. That doesn't matter. We don't need 110 every night from a guy. I mean, like you said, if he gets 65, we're perfectly happy. He's coming in, I think, again, less than 10% from what I'm seeing for sure. No doubt about it. If you pair him with Embiid, if he's in, I mean, look how different you are and look how much your upside is. So I love it. I'm going right back to him. I actually posted a really early core in the Discord. He was in it. So right off the bat, I'm liking him tonight. I'd say LeVert's probably my next favorite. If Mobley's out, I like Love. I probably won't get to Allen still, but if Mobley's out, I actually like Chetty Osman at 3,900 too. We saw him come off the bench last game when Mobley was out. He had 36 minutes. Usage was 19%. Got us 30 fantasy points. I'll take that all day. Even if he gets 20 to 25, I'm okay. And then I got a little savings there. So that's probably my order. I'm predicting Mobley's going to be out, so I'm going to say Mitchell, LeVert, Love, Osman. On the other side, the only guy that interests me really is a 4,600 Shamet. I think Landry Shamet's interesting. Anytime Booker's out, we've seen him get the run. If he gets hot, we know what he can do. So he'll be in my pool. Not super high on him, but just for somebody to have in that game.
Yeah, good point. And TJ brought it up. I put up on the screen for a second because I didn't chase Luka, and now I'm poor. Like some of these guys, even Giannis kept going off for games. Luka went off. Tatum had his run earlier. SGA kept going off in games. Like you can play these guys. Just again, what I always say, you're not getting 110 again, but 55 plus plays just fine. And I think it's going to be a spot that picks up a little. We'll see how the injuries shake out and whatnot, but should see a little steam once everything shakes out the way it does. So let's move on, Title. Let's go Memphis, Charlotte. I think we're waiting on Hayward was doubtful, right? So what's the other news here in this game, or what are we waiting on in this one?
Yeah, not waiting on much. Gordon Hayward's doubtful. Kelly Oubre is already out. Cody Martin's questionable, but that news doesn't mean much. The Memphis side, Tyus is questionable. Santi Aldama is questionable. I mean, some of the rotation guys get a little bigger bump, but nothing. We really only touched on two of the main. And Mobley and B questionable, then Devin Vassell questionable. That's the main news that I'm waiting on. And then if something random pops up. But yeah, not too much in this one. But yeah, with Gordon Hayward already doubtful, Oubre out. I definitely like the Charlotte side. I like the Charlotte side more than Memphis for a couple pieces. We'll get to the Memphis side because I think there's a couple stronger plays, but Charlotte has more guys I would play. PJ Washington at 5.6K. I don't think anyone's going to play him. He gets a big bump with Oubre out, with Gordon Hayward out. He's played over 30 minutes the past, I think, 8-9 games or something. Man, he's shooting the ball. His usage has come up a little bit. They're going to need his size, his rebounding. Jaren Jackson and Steven Adams. Memphis plays big. So PJ stays out of foul trouble. He can play 35 minutes. I see 5% ownership at him. This is one of my favorite games on the slate. It's the second highest total on the slate. It's one of my favorite games to game stack because Steven Adams at 5'4", everyone's going to play, or not everyone. He's going to be one of the more chalky guys on the slate. Rightfully so, though. Brandon Clark is out. Just look at what Steven Adams has been doing the past couple of games. Finally playing around 30 minutes, 23 rebounds, 21 rebounds, 17 rebounds, 49, 50. I mean, the dude is absolutely smashing. He's still a 1,000 too cheap. I think he is the best center play on the slate. Ownership will follow. But that's where if you're plugging in Adams, you're plugging in some of these chalk guys, that's where you need like a contrarian spend, like an Embiid or something. You have to get different in some places. But really love Steven Adams. Going over, I'll stay on the Memphis side. Jaren Jackson at 6.5K. I think he's a great leverage play off of Steven Adams. He's $1,100 more. We know the story with this guy. If he stays out of foul trouble, he can put up 50 plus in any matchup. This is a great matchup for him. Man, you got to keep his hands to yourself, but playing him and not playing Steven Adams, You hope you get more rebounds for Jaren Jackson. Adams doesn't get as many. Adams isn't just going to be posting up ISO ball that way. So if those rebounds from Steven Adams goes like 21 and 17 down to, let's say, 8 or 9, he's not going to hit that massive ceiling, and Jaren Jackson would be a part of that. So little game theory there. I love Jaren Jackson on this slate. Your guy, Ja Morant, gets the nut matchup against Charlotte, play at a high pace, don't play defense. Another contrarian spend that I see and one I like a lot. Those are probably the only 3 I'd touch on Memphis. If you want to say Desmond Bane, I wouldn't hate you. I think he's a better play on FanDuel with shooting guard and small forward eligibility, but mainly Steven Adams, Jaren Jackson, and John, the Memphis side. Charlotte, I mentioned PJ Washington, Jalen McDaniels as well, small forward, power forward eligible, slides into the starting lineup without Hayward there. Again, Oubre still hurt, so his minutes, 31, 28 the past 2 games, 28, 22 DK points. He's just an athletic guy that they're going to need his size, his length, and his athleticism out here. So he's a good, interesting, low-owned, or he's not going to be low-owned, but he's a value play right now, and we don't really have a lot of values you were talking. So love him. Mason Plumlee's the last guy I'll mention for Charlotte. Center's so loaded. I don't love picking on Steven Adams, so I probably don't get there today, but he's going to play about 34 minutes coming off a 47 piece, 42 the game before. If you want to, you always talk about it, Tambo, going to the other side of the chalky center option. That's this spot right here. I don't love picking on Steven Adams, like I said, but he's showing upside in this spot as well. I love this game environment. It's going to be up and down. Good price tags on both guys. You know the rotation, the minutes are going to be there for these guys. So I think you can play multiple of them, get a little game stack here.
I like all of it. The new production season got me pushed around here a little bit today, Title. Did you mention Mark Williams? The only reason I ask is because it feels like people keep playing this guy. I know he had the 45 bomb 3 or 4 games ago, but from there, I still see people fitting him in for value just to use him, but he hasn't really done anything with it. I know he's only 4K, but do you have any extra thoughts on him?
I didn't mention him because center's so like, give me Adam to this game. Give me Plumlee in this game. I mean, the guy, if you look at, he had that 145 piece. He did that in 21 minutes and went 7 for 7 from the field. 15 minutes last game, 14 the game before, then 21, 18, 15. On a 12-game slate, man, you need to run as hot as the sun, and you're wasting. I mean, if he gets 42, you're happy, but that center position is so valuable. It's no for me. I would definitely go Plumlee.
Yeah, and I like you talk about it, what I mentioned all the time, the opposite side. It is tough here. I mean, Steven Adams, someone asked me earlier my favorite point guard play on the slate. Like, we'll get through it, and I'll mention one right now because when I have something to chime in with, I always chime it in. I will say this, though. The Adams play looks really good. I know that he's not going to be great leverage or anything like that because when you look at it, he's for what he is and how high-owned he is, it's whatever. But like someone said, look at the props. They're insane. Look at the price. I think you have to do something different. Now, you talked about a Title, and I'll come to you in a second here, Locks, but you talked about going to JJJ, right, and flip it over to Triple J there. You can definitely do that. I could see that being an angle. It makes perfect sense from game theory tournament if it's him instead of him. The other thing I'm thinking, though, and Locks, I'll come to you with this one, is neither of these guys are getting ownership in Ja or LaMelo, but I think you could just set it up a little bit differently. Bring a stud into it to match with them. Either it's Ja with Adams or go opposite side and get a guy in a little mini game stack and just try and get 2 guys that not as many people are on that we know actually have capability to break a slate on any given moment. Like any slate, you could see it. It's not likely tonight, but it could be. That's what it is. That's what we're always playing in this game for, trying to find out. So I like Ja quite a bit there. But Locks, I'll come to you. Same game, Memphis, Charlotte. Thoughts on Steven Adams? Chalk all day, and then the rest of the game. What do you got for thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm fine with eating a Steven Adams chalk tonight. He's just in too good of a spot. I mean, the props are crazy. He just every team against Charlotte just kills him at center. We all know that. So a center's just killed his team. I mean, the guy's in a perfect spot. Brandon Clark's out. We couldn't ask for anything else. So I'll eat that chalk all day. I do love Ja tonight, super low owned as well. But on the other side of the ball as well is LaMelo Ball. So I wouldn't mind playing him. You get less ownership there as well. You can run LaMelo with PJ Washington, run it back with a Steven Adams, get different in that type of way. I mean, this is an interesting game. I could actually see people stacking this one, and I may even do it maybe a couple times, but a lot of interest here. On the Memphis side of the ball, it is just Triple J, Steven Adams, and Ja for me. In order, I'd probably say Adams, Ja, Triple J if I'm going Memphis side of things. And then on Charlotte, I like Ball. I like Washington. I'm not as high on Plumlee. That price tag, I just don't know if I can pay that for Plumlee. I know he's looked good, but I just don't know. I like the Mark Williams call. I have played him actually a few times since everybody's been talking about him. And he's 4K. So if you think Plumlee maybe gets in foul trouble, something like that. You can easily, if he's their last piece, I don't mind throwing him in there, but I don't have any priority with him. It's just kind of if my last piece falls that way, well, I'll jam him in at a 4K center if I have to. So I'd say probably LaMelo Ball, PJ Washington for me on the Charlotte side, and then Adams, Ja Morant, Jackson on the other side.
Yeah, and should know too, because obviously we have some first-time viewers. We have some people watching that don't play. They're playing their one lineup tonight, not really sure what we're talking about. Maybe when we say like opposite side and why that makes sense. But like to Title's point, he brought it up, and I'll say it again. Like if you go the opposite of him, the idea is hopefully it's the point of Adams gets into foul trouble, and maybe it's not his backup. Maybe now it's Ja that takes over, but it's because a guy like Plumlee's going at him. And next thing you know, Plumlee starts racking up points because he doesn't have to deal with Steven Adams. And so that's how you could see that happen very quickly. And in tournaments, you say, oh, of course, you've done it. We've done it so many times. You play NFL DFS, you're all on this. Look at last week. Everyone's on the 49ers defense. What happens? Raiders pound him. Stidham is all of a sudden Studham or Stidham, whatever you want to call him. He went off and crushed against the chalk defense. It happens, right? The opposite effect of what everyone just expects to be natural. So keep that in mind when you go with that. We are moving on, though. The chat's getting antsy here. So, Locks, I'm going to stay with you on this, so I'll come to Title next. Chat wants to know your thoughts on this OKC Orlando game. 231 total. Tons of stuff on the Orlando side. Luckily, I was saying, I think it was pre-show, actually, but luckily SGA's in, so we didn't have to worry about just full-on jamming everybody from this game, but you still could. Decent total, tight spread, two teams. Tough, though, man, with OKC. They switch it around so often. Just go to last night's 3-game slate. 1 minute it was, who was it started? Oh, Wiggins is going to do it because he's the starter, crushing. Oh, all of a sudden, man, off the bench, can't miss. Wait a second, here's Isaiah Joe. Like, all this stuff that these guys got going on. So what's your thoughts on this game, Locks? OKC Orlando.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be a little bit lighter on this game. With the Thunder, it's definitely going to be a wait until I see their lineup type of thing. I mean, we're going to see SGA, and obviously right away, my only two interests, just because we don't know the lineup, is SGA and Giddey. Both of them are great plays. They're always great plays. SGA can always smash. He's going to be around 5% owned again, so I don't mind getting there. Definitely going to be different if you do that. I don't think a lot of people play him, and it's a high total game, so I don't mind that at all. He's probably my favorite play off of the OKC side. Like I said, on the value plays, I'm just going to kind of wait. I'm not playing Dort tonight with all these guys in. I only play him if SGA is out. So I generally don't get to Dort if SGA is in. On the Magic side, I like Fultz. I like Banchero. And then I like Mo Bamba. I'm not huge on Wendell Carter. 6,400. I'm not paying that at center tonight. There's way too much value. So I'll cross him off. But a lot of love for Mo Bamba, as the chat mentioned before we got to this game. He's 4-3. So, yeah, I'll pay an extra $300 over Mark Williams all day to get the Mo Bamba. No doubt about that. In order, my favorites on the Magic side, probably Mo Bamba, Fultz, then Banchero, and then Thunder side, just SGA and Giddey for me.
All right, got some news, guys. Title, I'm going to come to you in a second on this same game, but we got the news, right? So first up, we'll give it to the first person that got it in there. Joxa, got it in there.
You should have gave it to the person that spelled it right first.
That's true, too, yeah. Give them some love. All right, go ahead, Title. Talk to me here. We got Embiid out, and then you could talk about OKC or Orlando as well. But anything changed for you? We talked earlier about Harden, all that stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Harden for sure. And like if Paul Reed starts, I see someone in chat said like Paul Reed season. Yeah, I mean, Paul Reed starts. I would love Paul Reed. He's a point per minute monster. Montrez starts. I'd like him. I really need to see the starting lineup. Harden's the main guy, though. I mean, below 10K without Embiid, that's where a lot of people are going to go. Anyone in that range. Ja Morant, you're talking. I saw Nick in chat say Shea. Any of those guys in that range are now even lower owned than they were because everyone's jamming in Harden. So that's my thoughts there, like a Tyrese Maxey. Yeah, I think he's also fine. Melton's priced at 5.9. He's priced accordingly. All of those guys are fine. I do need to look at it a little more. I want to know the starters for sure. If it's Paul Reed, absolutely would love him. Montrez wouldn't love him as much. Still be a fine play, though. Harden is the main guy in this game, though. Yeah, touching on the Orlando OKC side. OKC side, really not too much interest. If I had to pick one guy, I'd go back to Jalen Williams at 5K. Not the Jalen, the starting center, that's 3K or something. Jalen, Jalen, 5K on DraftKings. Man, now with Poco out, yeah, it is definitely confusing. Make sure you click the right one.
Jalen Williams, Kendrick Williams.
Yeah,
everybody in there, but two the same name. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, he's going to be 3% owned or something. I think fading OKC would be fine. But even when he was playing alongside SGA, he's playing about 30 minutes. He's a very athletic guy. His rebound, he can rebound the ball. He still had roughly a 20% usage rate with SGA on the court. A lot of his buckets come in the paint. I think he's a fine play. Again, if you land on 5K at the 4 position, I'm fine with him at 3%. It's not someone I go out of my way to jam in. Otherwise, I'm not touching anyone on OKC with Shea back. Orlando's interesting, though, because they're down to 9 bodies today. They got Franz Wagner serving the suspension, Mo Wagner serving the suspension. Jalen Suggs is still out. So, yeah, this team is Bol is also out. Mo Bamba is back, but 9 guys always will intrigue me. Paulo at 8K, a very strong play. I have a feeling Harden, Paulo will probably be the first 2 people that a lot of people put in their lineups. Cole Anthony at 5.3K, I think is a strong play. Mo Bamba 4.3 is a strong play. I like Wendell Carter at 6.4. He is just center eligible. I know Locks didn't have too much interest. I mean, they have 9 guys, and 2 of the guys are Caleb Houston, who definitely I would not have interest in, and RJ Hampton. And we know about RJ Hampton. I don't think they're going to play some minutes. They're going to have to with 9 guys, but those 2 are pretty irrelevant, where I'm looking at this team with 7 guys. When you have pretty much 7 guys, you have interest in all of them. The prices are good too. 8K, Paulo is the most expensive. Otherwise, it's what? 6.6 for Fultz is the most expensive. So I like the Magic. How many is too many, people might ask. I don't think I would go more than, I mean, you could go 4, I guess. 3 is probably the sweet spot. I wouldn't go more than, just because we do have a 12-game slate. We do have Lakers stuff. Now we have Philly with them beat out. But I'll rank them. Paulo number 1. I'll say Mo Bamba 2, 4.3K. We don't have a ton of value on the slate, so he's 2. Cole Anthony 3, Wendell Carter 4 is how I'll say. But you want to play Fultz at 6.6K, I think he's also a good play. 9 bodies always means good stuff for DFS.
Yeah, they're going to rack them up. It's just tilting when you're following along who's going to be the one in the end that you actually end up needing. The one thing about Banchero I wonder too is, like, I know you like him quite a bit, is just if Dort gets on him. The D in Dort typically stands for defense. That was the interesting thing. You only really play him with SG out. Last night was the first time he took 15 shots in like 20 games or something, man. Like, the guy, he's just efficient if he does get there. And again, it's a lot on things with stocks over on FanDuel and things like that.
I see Mark said Cole is not starting. Yeah, Cole Anthony's not going to start, but that, I mean, they have 9 guys, and it's pretty much like he can still play 30 minutes in this spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it could keep his ownership a little lower. I know he's not going to start, but still 5.3. I don't care. I wouldn't care too much about Cole Anthony, who's coming off the bench, and then Mo Bamba, who will come off the bench. Those 2 will play a ton.
We have the starting lineup.
Yeah, go ahead, Locks.
We have the starting lineup for the Magic. It's Fultz, Jerry Harris, Houston,
my goodness.
Houston, Banchero, and Carter Jr.
Well, I did not expect Houston to start. I didn't think Cole Anthony was going to. So Gary, yeah, I mean, you got, so I like Gary Harris. I'm still not going to, I still don't think I can get to Houston on
Houston's
this.
Houston's got to be like a fake starter. I know they only have a short rotation anyway, but they just plug him in.
Because they want the second unit to still be efficient and stuff. So yeah, I definitely didn't expect that. I mean, I think that even gives me more of a bump to Fultz than I initially had. His usage is going to go up more than I even thought. Definitely already like Paulo, Wendell. Yeah. So Gary Harris and Fultz, I guess, get the bigger bump than I initially thought.
Yeah, Mobley was in. I didn't bring it up on the chat, but one thing I will say before we go to this next game, the cool part about this new feature is it shows me everybody has the ability to type. And what do I always say, Title? If you can type, you can hit the like. So
yeah, I like that.
Let's do that. We got 231 likes. We got over 500 watching. We're trying to get to 350. So do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. We're trying to get to 350 plus. Keep this show rolling. Title, come back to you, man. We got your boy. We don't know yet, actually, but we got, someone said Giannis out earlier. We got Milwaukee versus Toronto. We got a 225-point total. Canada versus Wisconsin over here. What do we got, boys? We got our game on tonight. Toronto versus Milwaukee. What are we thinking here, Title? What do you got?
Yeah, someone said Giannis ruled out. I mean, he was just guessing. Now, it would not completely shock me if if they did end up resting him. They're already resting Drew. They're 5-point dogs, which feels a little interesting. He's just been playing so hard recently, but we didn't get the new. I mean, we got to assume he's in. Drew got ruled out. George Hill got ruled out. Joe Ingles got ruled out. There was no word on Giannis. Giannis plays 11.9K. Yeah, he's going to be he's going to be the spend up. Now with Harden there, it's going to be interesting because Giannis, I was showing, was going to be the most popular spend. Now people are going to go Harden. Is there enough money to go Harden, Giannis? I don't know what that answer is. Maybe this Harden news or Embiid being out lowers Giannis's ownership a little bit, but 11.9K. The dude's absolutely been smashing. I don't really need to talk you into Giannis. He's a strong play, no doubt. Now, the other guys, Pat Connaughton is my second favorite at 4K. Gets shooting guard and small forward eligibility. He's been shooting the ball poorly. There's no doubt about that. He shot 9 threes last game, 6 the game before, 6 the game before. Yeah, he's 4K. If you're trying to play Harden and Giannis and you need to come down to get 4K guy, Pat Con should start. He'd be my favorite there. Grayson at 4-3. Again, I mean, streaky shooter. He needs to get hot for you. Those guys are, yeah, like I'm not doing it. Your guy, I like Bobby Portis. 6.6K is pretty expensive. Nobody's going to play him. You can play him at the power forward position. Look what he's done the past 4 games. 45 in 22 minutes, 38, 45, 38. He's a rebounding machine, double-double in all those games. His rebounding rate's up there. He shoots the ball a ton when he's in the game. This game stays competitive. Without Drew, he gets a bump. I think this could be a Bobby Portis spot. So Giannis, I'd rank him Giannis, Pat Con, Bobby, Grayson on the Bucks side. But if you don't play any Bucks, I think that's also totally fine. It's not like you need to jam this spot in. As far as Toronto, Gary Trent at 5'5", also shooting guard, small forward eligibility. He's he is starting now like he did before. Then he went to the bench for a little. Man, he is chucking. If you look what he's been doing, he's shooting the ball well, but 18 field goal attempts, 22, 13, 16, playing 40, 39 minutes the past 2 games, 22 usage, 32, 26 there, 48, 53 in back-to-back games. Yeah, I mean, he's starting. He's playing uppers 30 minutes at 5.5K, and he's going to shoot the ball. DraftKings scoring, he fits well because of the three-pointers as well. He'd be my favorite Toronto guy. Scotty Barnes would be my second favorite at 6.7K. He can fill it up in multiple areas, but probably just Gary Trent. I don't think I'll get to Scotty myself. Giannis the best play in this game. Gary Trent's the second best. Then I'll go Pat Con and Bobby Portis and Grayson is how I rank it. But yeah, I think there's some good, interesting low-owned plays in this game. Everyone should be low-owned outside of Giannis is what I'm seeing.
What are you laughing at over there, Locks?
You messing around with everything.
I'm just messing with the chat, man. They said Tambo Savage. Brittany said, I could have pulled it up. I didn't use the tool here. She said, we're always having fun here. Where is it at here? I can pull it up. She said, can you see who has not hit the like? And I said, yeah. I said, no. But if I could, I'd boot them all. And everyone said, I'm savage. I said, why? If it costs money, I would understand. It's free. And then people say, oh, but Tambo, time is money. Yeah, it takes 2 seconds. So you got 2 seconds. You can hit the like. You're here. You're enjoying a free show. We do them all the time. They're a lot of fun. We're breaking down every angle we possibly can, trying to answer your questions, interact, have fun. We should be easily at 400 right now with 600 watching. I understand some people don't have access or don't know how, forget, whatever. But for the ones that do know how, grab the iPads, grab your wife's phone or husband's phone, whatever it might be. Take it from the kids. They shouldn't have that much screen time anyway. Tambo's parenting tips. Take that away for a second. Tell them you got to log on, hit a second like for the boys. Let's go back to you here. What do we got, Locks? We got this game, Milwaukee, Toronto. Bopo, one thing that you did say, like he just came out and crushed again the other night. 38-45, 38-45. You said it. Like, I don't know, though. Now he's getting up almost 7K. I can't really use the same adage there, Title, and say, well, he's not going to get you 45 again, but if he gets you this, now he almost needs to get you 45. So I don't know. Can he do it again? Locks, you tell me. Bopo, Brolo, this whole squad. What are we doing here with this game?
Yeah, I'll start with Bopo and Brolo in this one. I mean, last night, last night he was 7K last night. He's 6,600 tonight. And last night he had 45 points. I don't mind it. I mean, Holiday's out. He's going to be in a bunch again. So I'll go Bopo all day. I'm not huge on Brook Lopez, so I'll go Bopo over Brolo tonight. I'm probably going to take old Brolo out of my pool. I mean, he just nutted last night on everybody. I don't see him doing it again, let's be honest. So I like Bopo in that situation. Other than that, just Giannis on the Bucks side for me. If anybody else is ruled out, I mean, even with Holiday out, my main interest probably for some value on this slate is Beauchamp. I think he's a great play tonight. Ingles is out as well. So I think Beauchamp just gets a little bit more running at 3K. I think he can get us value real quick. So definitely my main interest there. I'd say probably Giannis, Beauchamp, and Bopo for me on the Bucks side. On Toronto's side, really no interest. Probably my only guy I like at all would be Siakam at 10-3. We've seen what he can do. We've seen his ceiling. So if I had any interest in that side of the ball, it'd probably be Siakam. That's it.
What about AJ Green? This guy's going full Bo Jackson. He's playing the NFL. Now he's playing basketball on your squad. Any love for AJ Green down at the bottom?
I ain't got no love for AJ Green. Not tonight. If Allen, Connaughton, or Carter were out, then maybe a little.
Right. I like the Moshe call. I think again, it's 3K. What does our guy Big T always say? If you guys aren't a member, you should be. But those Up to Lock shows, he talks about this all the time with the guy. He's $3,000. Like, it makes you fit everything else. There's actual reasoning that you brought up here, Locks, that it could work. And it's not always going to be the best score, but 18, 10, 11, 13, 13, when he's got other opportunities, 23 and 28. So he definitely has the ability to do it. I don't hate that call. So interesting one to plug in there. Anything else you want to add, Locks, before we go to this next game?
No, nothing else to add on that one.
All right, I'll kick it back to you. We can move to this one. We got the Spurs and the Knicks. Thoughts on this game?
Ooh, Spurs and Knicks. A little bit of interest on the Knicks side. Not so much the Spurs. I think the whole Spurs team, I might just X out. I just don't see anybody there that I'm really in love with tonight. There's too many other spots. But the Knicks side, definitely a few interests here. I mean, Julius Randle just continues to crush for us. The guy has just been on an absolute tear, continues to chuck. RJ Barrett's out. I'm just going to keep playing him until Barrett gets back, probably, just based off of what we've seen from him. And then the other guy, my guy Brunson, he's 7K. I think it gives him a huge boost as well. So I love those two tonight. Probably two of my favorite plays overall. And then quickly, obviously, at 6,200 is very interesting to me. I don't know with Grimes. I just don't think he has enough upside for me. We did see a huge game, so I'll have him in my pool just because we've seen some upside from him. It's just never consistent. So I like staying away from that type of situation. But I definitely do have a lot of interest in Randall and Brunson up top. And then quickly on that side of the ball, Spurs side, I'm probably just Xing out, to be honest.
Yeah, Title chat was saying Brunson, Randall, move on, thoughts like that. Anything you got here, Title, you want to add to this one?
Brunson, Randall, I'll add quickly to that too. He's still RJ Barrett's still out, so he's still going to start. Always Emmanuel Quickly guy. So those three on the Knicks side. As far as the Spurs side, if Devin Vassell is in, I think you fade the Spurs team pretty comfortably. Now, if he's out, Keldon Johnson at 6'9" steps into the lead role. Trey Jones at 5'7" I think would become a great play. Jakob Poeltl gets a bump at 5'9". Sokan gets even a little bump at 4'8". I mean, Devin Vassell's one of their best players. Him and Keldon, 1A, 1B, take away about 25% usage rate when he's out. Other guys need to step up. So, yeah, if he's in, fade the Spurs. If he's out, you can't ignore Keldon, Trey Jones, Jakob Poeltl. Those would be my three favorite there. So monitor news, games at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully we get it before lock.
Title, I just got some updates, man. James Conner doesn't practice. Robbie Anderson, they might need AJ Green back off your squad. So, man, they'll be hurting in Arizona there. So they might need to get AJ Green back. Title, I'm going to stay with you, man. I like this next game quite a bit, actually. Portland, Minnesota. It's not like a bunch of injury setups and things, but really it's just a good total, tight spread. Two teams I think we could see some pace with. We could even stack this game up. It's just interesting on a slate like this. Any other thoughts from you? Like, what's your thoughts on that, on stacking this game up? And then who are some of the guys you like in this game?
Yeah, I'm going to have to differ. I don't really see stacking this game. If I'm stacking a game on a 12-game slate that we've talked about so far, it's that Memphis-Charlotte game that stands out to me. I think most guys are priced right. Neither team dealing with too many injuries. If Naz Reid gets ruled out, Gobert becomes a fine play, 6'5". You'd have a little more safety. So I think if Reed's out, Gobert would be the next guy I'd like. No one else on the on the Timberwolves. As far as Portland, I think it's just Dame or move on. And with so many guys in that 9-7, 10-3, all that, like I like John Moore. I like Julius Randle for a little more. He is right next to Harden, which will bump his ownership way down. I don't know if Harden's going to be mega chalk. I assume so with that Embiid news, though. Get a pivot there. But no, I don't really like anything in this game.
Locks, I'll come to you on this one. The chat's just killing me. Said Locks must be freezing over there. Got layers on. Said he got 9 shirts on. Jack. What's up, man? What answer the people first and then talk to us about this Portland, Minnesota game.
Definitely ain't jacked. But all I got's on a t-shirt and a freaking pullover. I just threw a jersey on. Relax, people. We got to have layers up here in Wisco. I'm sure freaking Title's got a t-shirt on under his damn sweatshirt.
Well, I left a couple days ago, thank God. Back to 65 and sunny here. But, yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I'm used to it. I've been here long enough. But definitely rather be in the warmth. Back to this game. I'm dying. What game we're on?
Portland, Minnesota. Portland,
Minnesota. Interest here. I'll start with the Portland side of the ball. We don't have news on Nurkic yet, do we?
Probable.
Okay. So if he's in, I don't really have love for anybody. I was going to say Eubanks. My only main points of interest here are the same every time. I like Lillard. I like Jeremy Grant. Those two are studs. So really my only interest on that side of the ball. As far as the Timberwolves go, whenever Cat is out, Anthony Edwards is just a smash play. He continues to stay under 10K. I wouldn't be surprised if soon he's over it, but my only interest on that side of the ball is probably him. Obviously, Naz Reid is interesting, but they keep upping his price, so probably nothing else there. This one's easy for me. I'm going to say probably Ant-Man, Lillard, and Grant, and I'm going to move on.
Every 100 Locks adds another layer. I love that deal. Yeah, he'll throw an extra shirt on there. Locks, I'm actually going to stay with you. We'll just move right to the next game. We've got to keep it moving. So Houston, New Orleans, what's your thoughts on this one? 229.5 is the total.
Oh, this chat's got me dying, man.
They're killing you now.
That's all right. In this one, I like JoVal. Anytime we see Larry Nance out, obviously it gives a little bit of a boost to JoVal. So I like him. But CJ McCollum is in an absolute smash spot. Anytime Zion's out with Ingram, we just see McCollum chuck. So I'd say my main 2 points on that side are going to be McCollum and JoVal. I don't mind if you want to save a little bit of dough with Murphy, Jones, or Marshall. I'll probably sprinkle them all in. I'm not too high on them tonight. I think I can find a little bit more value elsewhere. So I'd say for me, McCollum, JoVal on the Pelican side. On the Houston side, centers tend to smash the Pelicans, it seems like, but I just don't know who to choose. I mean, Şengün can play 20 minutes or he can play 30 minutes, and it's way too hard to decipher. So with me, I'm staying off of that. I mean, 5-7 for Şengün. I'll spend it elsewhere at center. I got too many other value plays I like, and it just can't get there with Jabari. I really don't have any interest other than KPJ and Jalen Green on the Rockets side of the ball. So probably those two guards, and then McCollum and JoVal on the other side, and I'll move on this one.
Yeah, Title, I'll come to you. There is obviously the Pelicans guys. Some of them are picking up steam just because value purposes. We talked on this slate, the stuff that's going on there with Zion out, all those factors. So they're just picking up steam. But what are your thoughts on this game? Who are some of the guys that you like?
Yeah, mainly the Pelican side. CJ, great play at 8.2K. JoVal at 6.3K, another center in a very good spot. Steven Adams and JoVal. That's what I was saying. Like Miles Turner is a pivot right in that same range. Mason Plumlee's a pivot right in that same range. Center's absolutely loaded again today. With Zion off the court, Brandon Ingram, they're still missing as well. JoVal gets a big bump there. And Larry Nance is also out, like Locks mentioned. So JoVal can be very frustrating. There's no doubt about that. He could also do that today. Would not be surprised one bit if he has a snowflake. But the ceiling on him at 6'3", we've seen is massive. So CJ, absolutely love. And then, yeah, I mean, talking the value, Najee Marshall and Trey Murphy. Najee Marshall's going to start. Trey Murphy's most likely going to start. I mean, 4.8K for both guys that are going to play over 30 minutes on a slate. We don't love the value. I think they're both solid plays. Am I excited about it? Am I expecting 40 from them? I don't love the upside, no, but they get the nut matchup against Houston, over 30 minutes, both starting. I'll say I like Trey Murphy a little more. It's not a strong lean, though. I think they're both solid plays. Murphy has shooting guard and small forward eligibility, which is nice. Those are the only four guys I'm touching on Houston or on the Pelicans. As far as Houston, like I wouldn't be surprised if a Jalen Green, a KPJ, a Şengün got there. But man, they're healthy on a 12-game slate. I just think there's too much risk there. I mean, any of those guys could snowflake, and anyone else has to go off. So it's really hard picking one of them and hoping you get the right guy. Just think there's more downside than there's upside. So I think I'll just cross off Houston.
Yeah, and what about what last bad centers I'll ask you about probably on this slate? The Jackson
Willie
Hayes
Hernangomez
versus, well, I was going to ask you about Willie Hernangomez, but because of what he's actually done, the usage when he's been in there, like he's going back 2020, 18, 20 with a 33. That's 4 of his last 5 at 3,800. But the chat wants to talk about Jackson Hayes for $100 less. So any extra thoughts? Again, center's loaded. We know this, but looks okay. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, give me Willie in that. Willie, just when he's in, the dude's he's a monster. Like his usage is always up there. He's a rebounder. He's so active when he is out there. Whereas Jackson Hayes, yeah, he's an athletic guy, but like they're not throwing it to him in the low post, saying go one-on-one, which they do with Hernangomez. So, yeah, I would definitely say him. 3.8K is just, man, the reason I didn't mention him, he's just center eligible. It's a 12-game slate. There's definitely a lot of risk there. But, yeah, Hernangomez definitely is my answer there. Anytime he gets a spot start, if people remember, the dude absolutely smashes. So it's all about the minutes.
Yeah, and the chat reminded us, too, that Reed is 3K. So, going back to earlier, right, we talked about that. Reed is $800 cheaper, so you can plug him in instead and just avoid it altogether. You obviously don't have to go there. Title, I'm actually going to stay with you. We got only 4 games left. We're about to hit the likes, I think. So, guys, keep rolling. Let's try and get to 400 today. We got 4 games left. Try and get to 400 likes. So, let's talk about this one, Title. Brooklyn, Chicago, big total. Again, decent total, 235.5. Obviously, there's a bigger one coming, but still. And then, Durant, 10K. I always like Durant at that type of price tag. But go ahead. Talk to me about this Brooklyn-Chicago game.
Yeah, I think you're mainly looking at the stars. KD at 10K definitely stands out. Ownership is not going to be there. Everyone's going to go Harden right in that range too. I mean, it's pretty much as Big T always says, pick your spend. Like KD is in a great spot. Ja's in a great spot. Randall's in a great spot. These guys are going to nuke. You just got to hope you get it right. I don't need to sell you on KD. Yeah. Kyrie at 8.8, again, right in that same boat. I do prefer KD though. When it gets to 1,200, I was picking Kyrie over KD when it was like an $1,800 difference, a $1,700 difference. Now that we're seeing a lot less, $1,200, I want to find that $1,200 for KD. As far as the Chicago side, it's probably just Zach LaVine. But, man, on a 12-game slate, I never get excited about picking a guy that's just scoring dependent. He can have 40 real points and score 43 DraftKings points. So yeah. the price tag's good at 7.3. It's intriguing. You land there at 7.3, you definitely can do worse. But I like guys that can fill it up, that have more triple-double upside or little safety with the peripherals that he doesn't have. So not a game I love.
Yeah, I agree with you there. That's always the tough part, right? Locks, come over to you, man. This same game, Brooklyn, Chicago. What do you got here in this one?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of interest here. Basically 3 guys. 2 guys from the Brooklyn side, Kyrie, KD. Those are my only interests. I don't really love this team other than those 2 guys. And then the Bulls side, just DeMar DeRozan. Super easy game for me. Those 3 guys, and I'll move on. I got no other interest here.
Yeah, I never get DeRozan right. I get it, though, $9,100, and the guy can definitely rack them up. And to Title's point with LaVine, it's like you said, 40 real points and end up with 43 DK. It's definitely tough to stomach at times. The chat did ask this one, Title. We're going to go to the next game in a second here, but they asked about, I'm not sure if you saw it, like the alert came out that Maxey will have his minutes increased. Could you play Maxey and Harden together? What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I responded to Andrew Martinez. He said, "Can you play Maxey over Harden?" I definitely like Harden more. I mean, Maxey's still priced up. He's 7.3K. A minute's increase, you give me 35 minutes with Tyrese Maxey without Embiid. Yeah, I absolutely love him. But the price tag, Harden is mispriced at 9.8K. There's no doubt about it. Maxey feels appropriately priced, with a little concern with what does a minutes increase necessarily mean? I want 37 minutes from him at 7.3K or something. But yeah, you can play them both together. I have nothing wrong with that. Harden is definitely point per dollar in a vacuum, a way better play, but ownership will follow.
I got to stay with you because Locks saw the likes, went to get another layer. So that's what it is. I'll stick with you here, Title. This is the one we got the news on early. It's the totals, whatever, but just from an injury perspective, we definitely have stuff to talk about here. So Miami and the Lakers, no LeBron, of course, the big news, but just thoughts on this game here, guys that you like in this spot.
Yeah, obviously they're still without AD. Now LeBron's out. Lonnie Walker is also out. So you got to assume everyone's probably jamming in 5 Lakers and all that. I don't love the matchup against Miami. That's the first thing I'll say. Miami's not a team I love picking on. And then you go to these guys Dennis Schroeder. So I'll name the 6 guys that I have interest in. Probably the only 6 I play. It's Thomas Bryant. It's Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder, Patrick Beverley, Wenyen Gabriel. That is what the expected starting lineup, because they're still going to keep Westbrook off the bench is what we think. So Schroeder, Beverley, Reeves. They maybe go Troy Brown over Gabriel. Who knows who starts between those 2. But I like Westbrook at 7.6K. He would be my favorite. Even though he's going to come off the bench, he's still going to play a ton of minutes. The usage is going to be there. Patrick Beverley, I don't really know what to do with this Lakers situation is the problem. Austin Reeves is probably my second favorite at 4.3K. We saw a big game from him last game. I just think he's a solid player who has more peripheral stats than a Patrick Beverley, than a Dennis Schroeder, Wenyen Gabriel at 3.2K. I see value there, especially if he starts. I would really like him. Even if he doesn't start, though, they're going to need him to play about 20 minutes probably. And at 3.2, he's an active guy out there. He'll grab you some boards. I think he's fine for value if you're trying to jam in like a Giannis and a Harden build. Thomas Bryant at 6.2, another solid play, but center is so loaded right in that whole range. I'm down on this. I'm way lower, I think, on this Lakers spot than everyone else is. Even though LeBron's out and all that, I don't love picking on Miami. Patrick Beverley, Schroeder, Austin Reeves, like all those guys just feel the same to me. Any of them can snowflake at any point. And the upside, I guess, is there for Dennis Schroeder. I think maybe I'd say him over them, even though I just said Reeves. Maybe Schroeder has the most upside. I don't know. I need to hear what Locks is saying because I really don't. Even though LeBron's out, everyone expects it's a Lakers thing. The 12 games on this slate, I think there's other spots I feel more comfortable with. So I'll rank them: Westbrook, Schroeder, Reeves, Gabriel, Beverly. But man, as far as the Miami side, I'm not touching anyone on that side. I don't know. I hope Locks helps me out a little bit because I don't like this Lakers spot.
None revenge spot, they said. This guy doesn't even play. Man.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew he was gonna get 30 minutes, sure, but yeah. You ain't getting that.
Very, very tough to get to that. Locks, they said, shit.
Before Locks, quick, Jack said, like, Schroeder is definitely in play. All of those guys are in play. All 6 guys that I mentioned on the Lakers are in play. It's just, they're not, I don't think they're as strong as when you saw LeBron out, what you expected is how I see it.
Yeah, Locks, they thought you went to get the North Face jacket on. They were looking for that next layer, man, or get the jacket, the parka.
I thought about it.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did. I thought you saw the likes. That's what I said. He saw those likes went up. We're pushing 400. Do us that favor, guys. Again, we got to the plays of the day with just these couple games left, but want to get there still to 400. Let's try and get up to that number, hit the big one. So, Locks, Miami, LA, we were talking about. Obviously got the news earlier. Probably heard the back end of what Title was talking about there. Give us your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, this game's interesting. I mean, I'll start on the Lakers side. I'd honestly say, as far as the Lakers go, Austin Reeves is probably my favorite on this team. I just think we've seen what he can do when he gets the time and the usage. I just think he's the best value play here. I'm going to be kind of lower on Schroeder than the rest of the field. I don't see it. I think he's going to bust for us tonight. I could be wrong, but that's just my lean. I like Reeves better than Schroeder. Really nobody else. I like 2 guys here. I like Westbrook. I like Reeves. And actually, I really don't like anybody else on this Lakers team. I'm okay with crossing the rest of the guys off other than those 3. I mean, I'll play Reeves. Probably in order, I'd go Westbrook, Reeves, Schroeder for me. On the Lakers side, I'll cross off the rest of the team. Other than Wenyen Gabriel, I do like that call, Title. Gabriel's going to have to play. I'm projecting him, I'd say 20 to 25 points, and at 3,200, you can jam him in as well. So, definitely a value play there that Title called that I do like. I'll be off of Bryant. I'll be off of Schroeder that everybody else is on. I'll sprinkle Schroeder in just because he can. We've seen what he can do, but really not a lot of interest in that side. On the Heat side, I don't really know. These guys are too hard to figure out when the whole team's healthy. It's just I might just X this whole team because I don't know what to do with them. And it might be a bad call, but I feel like I can make up for it elsewhere.
Yeah, it said the price tag 30 to 200. Talking about Donovan Mitchell's spread tonight. It could be 30, could be 200. We'll see what he does tonight out on the court. This time after 110 last time out. Title though, I'll come back to you. Atlanta, Sacramento. This is the one, right? The total's 245. The spread is 1. Got a lot of options here in this game, man. So what's your thoughts on this one? Break it down for everybody.
Yeah, this one's tough. I mean, a lot of options is right on both sides. Like you can make a case for 5 guys on each team, which is why it's so hard. I'll start with the Sacramento side. So they're on a back-to-back. They just played yesterday against Utah. De'Aaron Fox had a great game. Harrison Barnes had a very good game. You know where the minutes are going. Herter's going to play over 30 minutes. Sabonis is going to play upper 30s. Fox is going to play upper 30s. Barnes is going to play upper 30s. Malik Monk's the guy that comes off the bench that has usage there. Fox is my favorite on the Kings, 8.5K. You get a little discount from that upper 9K range from the Harden, the Jazz, the Randalls of the world. You get in a little price. You get a different roster construction build right there. Paulo, I think, will be higher owned. CJ, I think, will be higher owned that range. I think Fox makes for a great tournament play. A ton of upside coming off a great game. So he's my favorite on the Kings side. Sabonis at 10-4. I'll probably just save the 1900 and prefer Fox. Barnes at 4.8K. We're talking, we don't love value and stuff on this slate. I think more people go to the Pelicans. Najee Marshall's is 4.8. Trey Murphy's 4.8. I think Barnes is a nice pivot right in that range. Going to play upper 30 minutes. Just saw what he did last game. So Barnes would be my second favorite on this team. And then Kevin Huerter would be my third favorite. 5.3K, get shooting guard and small forward eligibility. Shoots, if he gets hot, he can put up 40 plus for you and should be 4% owned or something like that. So that's the King side. As far as the Hawks, Trae Young at 9.5, coming off a monster game, 60 plus. He's 9.5K. He's going to chuck the ball. I mean, shot 22 times, 24 the game before, 15, 15, 24, 22. Usage north of 30 in almost every single game. It depends. Is he going to make his shots? He doesn't rebound the ball the best. The assists are there. Trae Young would be my favorite Hawks guy. Probably not getting a Kongwu at 5.8K. John Collins at 6K would be my second favorite, but it's mainly just Trae Young on the Hawks side. I like the King side a little more. Fox, Barnes, and then Huerter is how I'd rank them. The total's great. I think a lot of pieces can get there, but it also feels, I forget what spot I mentioned before where, the Rockets. They just have so many options. Any of them can get you a snowflake too. You have to pick the right guy, which is the tough spot because they are all healthy. It's not an injury situation. So, yeah, that's how I got it.
Yeah, and that's a good point that you bring up. Sometimes you have the best spots. We talk about in football all the time with Mahomes. We know he's going to go off. We know he's going to smash the slate. You could play him with just Kelsey. You could pick two guys here, Sabonis, Fox, and call it a day. But someone out there, if this game stack does go off, is going to have more lineups than you probably. Have this stacked every which way. And if you don't have all those covered, you just got to take your shots with what you got. Someone in the chat, Locks, I'll come to you, talk about Huerter revenge. So he ended up playing last night. I know it wasn't the greatest, but he ended up getting in the game. So maybe that's part of it. He can come back out tonight, save it all for tonight against his old team. But Locks, I'll come to you. Same game, second last game of the night, about to hit 375 likes. So just about 25 to go there for 400. But Atlanta, Sacramento, Locks, what do you got?
Yeah, I just want to touch on one thing I saw in the chat too real quick. Somebody said no Bryant. Does that mean Thomas Bryant?
No, I saw that too. I looked it up. Maybe they're just saying that you're not talking about him or not bringing him up earlier when we talked about all those center plays. But Title did bring him up.
I mentioned him. Yeah, he's right in that 6K. Yeah, you can play Thomas Bryant for sure.
All right, I just want to touch on that for anybody that was confused because I'm like, it's Thomas Bryant. Oh, that's not good. That would make me smash Winnie and Gabriel all day.
Then I would have more interest on the Lakers, the front court for sure. But yeah, he's in.
Okay. Well, back to this Kings game. On the Kings side, it's easy for me tonight. I do like the Barnes call. I probably won't be as high on him as Title, but I don't mind that play at all at 4,800. I'd say my favorite guy is definitely De'Aaron Fox at 8,500. Sabonis at 10.4 is the second favorite, and then Huerter at 5,300 as well. Everybody loves those revenge games. People, for some reason, tend to come out during those games. He's probably going to chuck. So I don't mind it. 5,300 is a little steep, so I don't think I'll get there a whole bunch, but he'll definitely be my pool. I'd say those four guys for me, nobody else really, unless you want to sprinkle in a little bit of Malik Monk. He's too hot and cold. We see it all the time. We see a 30-point game. We see a 15-point game. We see a 40-point game. We see a 10-point game. It's too much variance for me to really want to get to that on a 12-game slate. So probably off Monk, probably off all the bench guys on the Kings side. And then on the Hawks side, this game just seems like it's going to be way under-owned. And I have a feeling you could have some late-night hammers here. I mean, this could be a super high-scoring game. Is it not the highest-scoring game on the slate?
High-scoring total on the slate. Yeah. We will find out tonight, my friend, if it is the highest-scoring game.
Yeah, I really think people are sleeping on this game, in all honesty. So I wouldn't mind running it back with a Young, John Collins, Murray. I mean, all these guys, this game has a potential to shoot out, and there's a lot of pieces I want to get to. So I could see definitely some late-night hammers here.
Yeah, two quick questions, Title. I'll come back to you, and then we'll go to this last game. But what about Murray slowing down Fox, the Murray defense? Any thoughts on that one right quick?
There's so many pick and rolls where switches go that way. I mean, I'm not a person that really worries about individual defense as much because It's not like DeJounte is going to stick on him like glue, and it's not a box and one or stuff like that. So I'm worrying about it, but I get it. He's a great defender, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and then last one, just real quick, because you brought it up all night, Title, and I agree with you 100% on this center value, but it does keep popping up. Do you think that keeps the Adams ownership in check, or does it come down at all? Where's your thoughts? Obviously, you can play multiple centers on DraftKings with the flex, with some power forward center eligibility, all those factors. But where do you sit now on Adams' ownership?
Yeah, I think he'll probably be the highest owned center, but I think it is going to be a center is going to be spread out more than most positions. Maybe he comes in 25% in that $15, something like that. I don't think it's going to be crazy by any means with so many options, but I do think Adams will be the most popular. I don't have a great guess. I mean, if Paul Reed starts at center, everyone's going to go him. Then Adams' ownership will go way down and stuff like that. So that can still change.
Yeah, I agree. I like that breakdown. I'll stick with you, Title. It's the last game. Guys, do us that favor. We need 19 more likes just so I can feel happy, feel good about the show. I'm feeling great for the slate, but I want to feel good overall. So let's get those 400 likes. Title, I'll stay with you. Last game, Detroit, Golden State. The chat was going off earlier, but I'm sure you saw it. I had to watch it like 300 times. That pass from Draymond to Clay. Still don't know what happened, to be honest. I just kept watching and then gave up. I thought it was magic. But what do you think about that pass? How did it happen? And then what do you think of this game?
Well, thankfully, I spent a lot less time on it. I watched it twice and had no clue and realized there's no way I was going to find out. So I just moved on with my day after.
Title too sharp.
Yeah, but that was absolutely nuts. Yeah, I don't know. Like you watched it a lot more. You have a better guess.
Still don't know. Go ahead. You can break down the game now. Don't make fun of me much more.
Yeah, no. I mean, the Warriors side. You look at the injury news. Steph is still out. Wiggins still out. Jonathan Kuminga's out. James Wiseman's out. JaMychal Green's out. They're still very thin, and we've seen it recently. All these starters are getting a ton of minutes. Klay Thompson, I mean, if Hoop was on the show, his play of the day, I assume, is going to be Klay again. Dude's absolutely been smashing for him. 7.6K, I'm going to keep riding with Klay. 74, 42, 44, 42 his last 4 games. He shot the ball 39 times, 22, 22, 25. It's very clear who the guy right now is on the Warriors. It's Klay. Even if he has a bad shooting night, the dude's going to shoot over 20 times a day. So definitely love Klay. The ownership, I mean, man, I can see him sub 10% or something right around there. So love Klay. He's my favorite. Jordan Poole at 8.3K. He's also going to chuck the new Splash Bros. Jordan Poole steps in for Curry's role, but his usage 33, 40, 40, 49, 41, 43, 29. Those two are just going to chuck at every possible moment because they play next with Kevon Looney, doesn't shoot the ball a lot. Draymond, who doesn't shoot the ball a lot. Dante when he's open, but it's the Poole and Thompson show. Those are definitely my 2 favorites. Kevon Looney, if you want to go back to him, he put up 48, the 20 rebound game he had. He still really only played 30 minutes, though. I do like other centers on the slate. I think the upside on other centers are more. I'm not really going to chase that game too much. So it's Klay, it's Jordan Poole, my 2 favorite Warriors. I'm not going to touch this Detroit side. If anyone, it'd probably be Jalen Duran. But again, you're talking about this center position that's loaded. So Klay and Poole are the 2 main ones.
Yeah, just go real quick here to you, Locks. The one thing I was going to say, actually, Title, before I go to you, Locks, was let's say you got a lineup like Westbrook and Quickly. And obviously you can just flip Quickly up and plug Klay in that way. Klay is the same price as Westbrook. You obviously could play both, but who do you see if you were picking one? I'm just showing his ways that you could make it work. I know they're not the same position on here, but at both guards, so it does work. Who would you play at 7,600, Westbrook or Klay?
You're asking me or Locks?
You, sorry, Title. I'm going to stay with you.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Klay in this spot, and I think he's going to be lower owned too. I'm worried I don't love picking on Miami. I'm worried the game could get out of hand, and I know Klay's chucking over 20 times, so I'll ride the hot hand.
I like it. Go ahead, Locks. You can chime in too and then break down the game for us. Last one.
Yeah, in that situation, I'm with Title. I think Klay tonight. They're at home again. If they were on the road, I'd go Westbrook. That's just how it seems to work with these Warriors. So definitely I lean the Klay side as well. In this game, if I'm breaking down this game, I'm pretty much the same. The only guy is Duran. 5K, though, I don't know if I'll get there, but centers tend to smash the Warriors as well. So he's my only interest, especially with JTHayes back. We don't know what the rotation is going to be like. I'm fine Xing the whole team other than him. And then, yeah, we got Thompson smashing. I mean, the guy is just continuing to chuck. What did he shoot? 21 3-pointers, I think, 15 the game before. I mean, it's just insane. So I don't know how you don't play him. I love him over Westbrook all day. I'd say in order, Thompson, Poole, Draymond for me. I do like Kevon Looney. I'm a little bit more on him than Title is, I think. I just think they don't really have anybody else at center. So I think he's going to get around that 30-minute mark again, and he could crush this Pistons team as well. So I have a little bit of interest there, but if I'm leaning on the Warriors side, I'm going Klay, Poole right up top right away. and then probably Green and Looney, and that's it. Maybe a sprinkle of Anthony Lamb off the bench.
Chase Claypool?
Talk about a guy that disappeared off the face of the earth.
Really, though. We got all the football analogies and references tonight, but that's going to do it, I think. Go ahead,
I mean, we're talking football, that. I knew the baseball people out there probably saw it when we were on the show. Rafael Devers, my eyes lit up. 11 years, 331 million or something. So we'll get a little baseball talk in there. That'll be here.
I love it. Actually, I'm glad you brought. I was going to earlier, but I love that you brought that up because that's funny. Everyone here that's watching this is definitely into all sports, so I think that's something that we just do on here. We only got a couple minutes left though. Devin Vassell ruled out, is official now. That came through as we were talking. We got the Mobley in. People talk about Garland officially out. Title. Final thoughts before we get to plays of the day and get out of here.
Yeah, I'll just touch on that. I think that Devin Vassell, I don't even know exactly which one for sure. You know what you're talking about. I think that news is sneaky, though, that impacts the slate a lot more. I mean, these Spurs aren't expensive at all. The highest priced guy is 6.9K. Now you lose your best player, Keldon, 1A, 1B. Plenty of shots to go around in this one. Man, people are already playing Brunson, already playing Randall, already playing Quickly. You want to run back. Keldon at 6'9", I think, is a strong play. Trey Jones at 5'7" is a strong play. I like Jakob Poeltl, another center that no one's going to play at 5'9". If Josh Richardson starts for him, you're looking at value, 3.6K guard and small forward eligibility. So, yeah, these Spurs, especially Keldon and Trey Jones, they get a bump with Devin Vassell news. I don't think people realize how important it is how I see it.
Yeah, I like that. Anything else you want to add for this slate before we get out of here and get to the plays of the day?
Not for me.
Okay. Locks, going to go to you first then. Get it keyed up. I have to give it a second here. New production system. The Goldilocks play of the day. What do we got, Locks? Give it to the people. 400 likes, by the way. They came through for us. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Good play. Good job. Good hitting the likes. Clearly, we know how to type, so that's always good.
Yes.
The Goldilocks play of the day today is going to be another 60 piece from our guy, Julius Randle. I'm going to go a 10-5 Julius Randle, hitting us another 60-piece Goldilocks play of the day today.
I like it. Goldilocks play of the day. Julius Randle. Title. I'm actually going to save title for the last. He's the best. Go to the Tambo, Rambo, Lambo play of the day because he almost might. Title could steal mine too. Probably not. He knows where I'm going with this, though. I talked about it earlier. My guy, John Morant. Title talked about a game stack there. Definitely love that spot. I like his price tag that it's up. I think he's a guy that can go for 60+ on a slate like this. Love this matchup. Love this setup. I'm going with John Morant for my play of the day. And lastly, title. I saved you to say the best for last, baby. The SO play of the day. The Swayze play of the day. Oh, we changed it up. I saw this the other night because he didn't know about this movie. This is a great graphic, by the way, but it doesn't have as much hype to it. The Swayze play of the day. What do we got, Title?
No, I liked when you were saying the S, so I haven't heard that in a while, and it has to be the reason it's doing it because I say Swaze. I didn't even know it was Swayze. I always forgot how to pronounce it. Swaze always sounds way cooler, but that's besides the point. We're going to the late night hammer, going to the highest total on the slate, the Kings and the Hawks. I'm going with De'Aaron Fox. The dude absolutely coming off a big game, playing upper 30 minutes every single game, usage above 30, 29, 28. I mean, the dude's going to chuck for you. Can fill it up in the assist department, can get some rebounds. Love picking on the Hawks. It's going to be an up and down game, and that fits De'Aaron Fox perfectly. So I love that 8.5 price tag. Little discount from the high 9K, 10K range where I see a lot of people going.
Yeah, I like it. The Swaze, they both sound horrible. If you don't have the SO play by next Wednesday, I'm going to get our overlays fixed in the back end to get it back. It's the Wednesday show, and we pick winners, and that's what we do. We go with what we like. So Swaze can take a hike. We're going back to the SO next show. Let's get out of here, though. All right, boys, everybody, thank you. Girls, thanks for watching. Everybody, we got Title, we got Locks, and for myself, Toe Tag and Tambo. We'll see you guys next Wednesday.